Hello friends, welcome to Insights ICANN Initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about following 5 topics. These topics are Cyclone Michaung, Mount Marapi, Red Sea, Purchasing Managers Index and Allied Climate Partners. These are the 5 topics we are going to discuss in this video. First, let me explain about Cyclone Michaung. First, we have to understand this cyclone is a tropical cyclone. We know that tropical cyclones are generally between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So, in this range we can consider the tropical cyclones, and beyond that we will consider as an extratropical cyclone. This particular cyclone is a tropical cyclone. Generally, how cyclones will be formed when ocean water gets evaporate, and when they form clouds, a column of low pressure developed. When water evaporates, surrounding air will come and start rotating around that low pressure zone. That low pressure zone eventually it forms as a eye and it spreads over the land surface. This is how it will take along the water as well, along the water vapor as well along with it. As soon as the cyclone reaches to the land, we call it that as a landfall. Based on the intensity, cyclones can be categorized into 5 types on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Category 1 minimal damage, 2 category 5 catastrophic. This is the scale. Next, why it is in news. So cyclone Michaung made landfall in Andhra Pradesh. You know that already Tamil Nadu was severely battered by this cyclone. Normally the cyclones are the intensity is very high in Bay of Bengal compared to Arabian Sea. And cyclone is a very large scale system of air that rotates around the low pressure area, like we discussed earlier. Then it usually accompanied by storms and bad weather. Sometimes even the cyclone causes severe windfall as well. It carries severe windfall. According to NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, according to that, cyclone is characterized by spiraling winds that rotates anti-clockwise. Of course, we are discussing about the northern hemisphere. If it is southern hemisphere, obviously it will be the clockwise. Anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere and the clockwise in the southern hemisphere. This is known as cyclone. What are the extratropical cyclone? Extratropical cyclones are mid-latitude cyclones, and these extratropical cyclones are outside of the tropics. That means outside of the Tropic of Cancer and outside of the Tropic of Capricorn. These occur generally both over the land as well as the ocean, whereas tropical cyclones majorly they occur on land only. The cyclone Michaung, these are the cyclones over the southwest Bay of Bengal. Southwest Bay of Bengal, normally they originate, and this particular one, it is named after a suggestion provided by the Myanmar. Now we will discuss about the naming of cyclones as well, how the cyclones will get named. Naming of cyclones. World Meteorological Organization, they play a very important role in naming of cyclones by rotating name list. Not only this WMO, World Meteorological Organization, and other organizations such as RSMCS, that means Regional Specialized Meteorological Centers, as well as Tropical Cyclone Warning Centers. Actually, there are around 6 regional specialized meteorological centers are there, apart from the Tropical Cyclone Warning Centers. These institutes, these centers, they get suggestions from various countries, and names will be given on rotation basis. What are the member countries in this particular, panel members in the East, South Asia as well as East Asia? India is also a member. Apart from that, India, there are some other members as well. WMO group, panel member countries. Guidelines to adapt cyclone names. Generally, the cyclone names, they should be neutral to politics. They should not contain any rude or cruel in nature. Their naming should be short and easy to pronounce as well, and the name of the cyclone should not be more than 8 letters. That is also the guideline, and it should not offend any religion as well. This is the first one regarding the cyclone, and the second one is regarding the Mount Marapi. Recently, Indonesia's Mount Merapi, it is present in West Sumatra province. It got erupted and spewing around white grey ash more than 3000 meters into the air. You know the students, this volcanoes. Volcanoes consist of spilling of magma from asthenosphere. You know that asthenosphere present in the upper, like if you mantle, core, troposphere, mantle and core, like crust, mantle, core in the earth, and troposphere, stratosphere and exosphere when you go above the earth. When you go below the earth, crust, mantle, core, mantle, upper mantle. On the upper mantle, some part of the upper mantle divided by this asthenosphere. From the asthenosphere, when magma erupts out, that will be in the form of the volcano. About mountain Marapi. It is located in the western Sumatra and its name means mountain of fire. Generally, you will see majority of these volcanoes are present on the Pacific Ring of Fire, and Indonesia falls under this Pacific Ring of Fire as well. Let's see, this is the Pacific Ring of Fire and it goes through this Australia, Indonesia and like South America and the Western America side as well. This is the Pacific Ocean and the Pacific Ring of Fire. Pacific Ring of Fire is very popular for volcanoes as well as the earthquakes. This Pacific Ring of Fire, it is popularly known as Circum-Pacific Belt. In this region, we can see very frequent earthquake as well as the active volcanoes. And this Pacific Ring of Fire, because of this several, because of the several tectonic plate boundaries, this Pacific Ring of Fire got originated. Such as, for example, Pacific, Cocos, Indian Australia, Northern America, Philippine plates, all these plates boundaries together, it forms the Pacific Ring of Fire, these tectonic plates. And the third one is regarding the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, Djibouti, Bab el-Mandeb Strait and Gulf of Aqaba, Gulf of Suez. We are going to discuss about Red Sea. Recently, American ships under attack in the Red Sea. Because of this reason, we are discussing here. Gulf of Suez water body from the Red Sea towards the Mediterranean Sea, Gulf of Aqaba, Red Sea. Red Sea connects to this Arabian Sea through Gulf of Aden, and Gulf of Aden connect to Red Sea through Bab el-Mandeb. So these are the important ones in the Red Sea we have to know. Recently, US warship and multiple commercial ships, they were recently attacked in the Red Sea, and which deepened the tensions in the Middle East area. This Red Sea, which is enclosed inlet, which is present in Africa as well as Asia. It connected to the Arabian Sea as well as the Indian Ocean. Like I said earlier, South Indian Ocean, North Arabian Sea through Gulf of Aden and the narrow strait Bab el-Mandeb. Next, the northern portion of the Red Sea, it is bifurcated into two gulfs, Gulf of Aqaba, Gulf of Suez. Bordering countries, Yemen and Saudi Arabia border the Red Sea to the east. Red Sea to the east, okay, and this is the west. The east part is the Yemen as well as the Saudi Arabia. On the western side, Sudan and Egypt. Western side, Sudan and Egypt. So this is about the third topic. And the fourth one is regarding the Purchasing Managers Index. When the Purchasing Manager Index is increasing, if it is increased by 50 points, that means increase in the production of goods as well as increase in the production of services, it indicates. When it is decreasing means the production of goods and services decreasing. So nothing but Purchasing Managers Index, it gives a trend of the goods and services production. India's manufacturing sector contributes to perform better in the S&P Standard & Poor's Global Purchasing Managers Index. It raised to 56 in November against 55.5 in October. That means manufacturing sector Purchasing Managers Index is increasing. That means the purchasing of raw materials in the manufacturing sector is getting increased. This Purchasing Manager Index, it is an indicator of business activity in terms of both manufacturing as well as the service sectors. It is calculated separately for both manufacturing as well as service sector. When we added these two, it is called as Composite Index. This Composite Index helps in determining whether the market conditions are expanding or contracting. Increase in number, you can see there is the expanding, and decreasing number, you can see there is the contracting. There are two types of Purchasing Manager Index: Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index and Services Purchasing Managers Index. This Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, it deals only with the manufacturing of goods. The services are conducted on monthly basis. If the Purchasing Manager Index is greater than 50, that indicates the expansion in the business activity. If it is contracts less than 50, then it is indicating the reduction in the purchasing managers. This Purchasing Managers Index released by Standard & Poor Global. Before it was used to be released by IHS Markit. IHS market before this IHS market merged with the S&P Global. So this is about the Purchasing Managers Index. And the fifth one, COP28. You know that COP28 meeting held in UAE, Dubai. At COP28, this allied climate partners, they joined the International Finance Corporation. You know that students, one of the major difficulties to stop the climate change is funding. To mobilize funding, some countries, they formed as an organization that is around, like International Finance Corporation, with the money of around 11 billion in investment in developing countries. They are going to invest this money in developing countries. About Allied Climate Partners, it is a philanthropic investment organization and mission. What it will do, it does increase the number of bankable climate related projects. Climate related projects will be funded, so that funding issues will never come. That means the development assistance will be given to the projects which are related to environment, economic and social impact. Its initial focus regions are Southeast, Caribbean, Central America, Africa and India. That means these are the regions which require money for funding. Then International Finance Corporation, some details. It was established in 1956, headquarters in Washington DC, member of the World Bank Group. The main mandate of this organization is it advances the economic development and it helps in improving the lives of the people by encouraging the growth of the private sector in developing countries. Okay, especially the private sector in a very sustainable manner. The functions, like I mentioned earlier, it helps in developing the private sector through loans, equity investment, debt security and guarantee, and it encourages the private investment and improve the investment climate. The governance, this particular IFC is owned and governed by member countries. Owned and governed by member countries. It is corporation whose shareholders are members government that provides paid in capital and have the right to vote on its matter. The member countries and their governments, they have the voting rights. So this is about the COP28 Allied Climate Partners. They joined the International Finance Corporation. Okay, and we also discussed about International Finance Corporation and when it was established. Yesterday's videos, questions and answers we'll see. Anthrobot, recently seen in news, it is what? It is a miniature developed. It is a miniature robot developed using human cells. So the answer is D. Next, today's video question. What does Standard & Poor 500 related to? It is related to what? Next, mains question. Distinguish between cyclone and anticyclone. How is climate change impacting the tropical cyclones globally? Okay, difference between the cyclone and anticyclone, and how is climate change is impacting the tropical cyclones globally. This is the mains question. Now, let's see. As we reach to the end of this video, in this particular video, we discussed about following 5 topics, and this is the detailed analysis regarding the today's current issues. Thank you.